Happy Monday, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to Toys, the Universe, and Everything. This week we're playing Kung Fu Master for the Atari 7800. So, is Kung Fu a worthy home port of the original arcade brawler? Or is it just a half a loaf of Kung Fu? Well, like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let's play Wheels on Meals, the home game. Ported to the 7800 by Absolute Entertainment in 1989, Kung Fu Master is based on the IREM arcade game Spartan X, that Data East licensed and brought to the West as Kung Fu Master. Spartan X is loosely based on the Jackie Chan film Wheels on Meals, and the Western adaptation Kung Fu Master became the inspiration for a same-titled French film called Kung Fu Master, about a kid who really loves the arcade game Kung Fu Master, and a bored housewife twice his age who really likes him. It's a foreign film. But it isn't much farther from the source material than Kung Fu Master is from Wheels on Meals, a movie about two cousins who own a food truck and fall for an heiress who is pretending to be a prostitute, then must rescue her from a biker gang in a castle. Sylvia then asks the cousins for a summer job. Come to think of it, that may be the plot of Shakespeare's Titus Andronicus. In Kung Fu Master, you play as Thomas, who must make his way through 5 levels of the enemy stronghold to rescue Sylvia. You have the ability to punch and kick your enemies based on how you hold the stick while pressing the fire button. You'll be pitted against henchmen, knife throwers, midgets, it's in the manual, Dragon Balls, not Goku, also in the manual, Killer Moss, not the Batman villain, and the 5 Masters, Stick Fighter, Boomerang Thrower, Giant Kicker, Lightning Magician, and Gangmaster. I'm guessing none of those are their birth names. The graphics in this game are pretty decent compared to other games on the system. Thomas and his enemies aren't as tall as their arcade counterparts, but the idea is there, and you will have no problem seeing that this is Kung Fu Master. The 7800 color palette is well used here, and the animations do the job. The 7800 probably does a better job of replicating the look of the arcade original than the NES does, because that version threw out many of the little details of the castle, even though that version has probably become the de facto version of the game for most gamers from that time period. The winners do write history. It's hard not to draw comparisons to the NES version when discussing sound. They are mostly carbon audio copies of each other. The 7800 plays the same familiar tune throughout the game as the NES, and most of the sound effects are very similar. The one place where the 7800 sound disappoints is the lack of the beefy punch and kick effects. Here, they're just the usual 7800 collision noises that will be a disappointment for anyone familiar with that other home port. The gameplay in this version suffers from Atari programmers can't count buttons disease. There is no reason this version shouldn't play just as well as the other, but for some reason, punch and kick are mapped to the same button. It makes this game a hindered experience. It's playable, but the button thing makes it a chore instead of fun. When you add that bad decision with some of the other problems, like the knife thrower's AI being cheap and huggers being a little too huggy, the knife guy can actually kill you in 3 seconds with full health. The collision detection is super questionable here, and the boss fights usually end up being a test of, can you get to them with enough health? The punches and kicks don't feel reliable because of the input design, and for a Twitch arcade game, that's a real problem. You can beat this game, but I can't guarantee it'll be a fun experience to do it. When you do beat the game, you are treated to basically nothing. You do see Sylvia, but you won't untie her or see her stand up. The screen will just blank and send you back to stage 1 without even a congratulations. It really seems like a half-baked ending for a game that needed some more polish all the way around. So, do you need Kung Fu Master in your Atari 7800 collection, or are you better off watching Jackie Chan's Legend of Drunken Master or Half a Loaf of Kung Fu? I'm not going to tell you this game is unplayable or hyperbolize it into the ground. It's playable. It's not terrible. It's also not the best way to play Kung Fu on a retro home console. If you want to build an Atari collection, Commando, Xenophobe, and Crossbow are all better post-Golden Age arcade games on this system. It's getting to be pretty scarce, even though the last time I saw it was still in the $20 range. If you can find it, great. Don't feel like you're missing anything if you can't. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and no matter what your questions are about toys, the universe, and everything, remember, the answer is always to have fun. And if you ever find yourself being hugged to death, simply spin around. Maybe you'll turn into Wonder Woman, or maybe your attacker will simply disappear. Either way, you win. Until next time, everybody.